we are thrown into the second wave of COVID, which was unanticipated. Many of us were unawares of that and also ill prepared in many ways. Now, how do you see the demand situation picking up for your sectors, and especially being in flat steel? Many of the auto producers are cutting down their production levels as well. Are you already seeing signs of some sort of a slowdown?
So over the last week or so, we've been hearing some noise from our customers. To be fair, while the auto industry has announced some production cuts, but the ancillaries are still going strong, because I think the general expectation is this is maybe an impact for a few weeks. It is less to do with fundamentals and more to do with the fact that people are not stepping into dealerships and are not stepping out of their homes, rather than the fact that there's a turn in the overall demand. So I see it a little bit more as a temporary situation for now, but we'll wait and see sometime in June whether it's more permanent. Second area of activity is construction, where again, because of the lockdowns in different states, there's a temporary reduction in activity, but I'm not seeing the migration which we saw last year, which led to a more sustained reduction in construction activity. The third area, which to me is a little bit of concern also, is the fact that liquid oxygen cannot be supplied for industrial use. So while that doesn't impact people like us, because we use oxygen as a gas directly from the plants into our own production facilities, but a lot of the small scale sector and fabrication units depend on liquid oxygen supply and cylinders for their own activity, fabrication activity, welding activity, etc. So there they are struggling a bit. Again, not yet material enough. And if the situation improves over the next few weeks, then hopefully they will be back to the activity levels that they had before. But these are the areas we're watching out for. But fundamentally, the demand in India last year shrank to about 88 million tons from the 102, 103 million tons it was a year before. This year is expected to go back to 100, 103 million, what it was the year before. So we're going to catch up on what we lost last year, unless the wave 2 has a much deeper impact than we are expecting today.
Mr. Narendran, we are already also anticipating a third wave, and now the governments have started preparing for that. How long do you think? You said that if for a few weeks, if this oxygen supply ban is there, then we can manage. How prolonged does this oxygen crisis needs to be to have a meaningful impact in your view right now?
So there are a number of steps being taken both domestically by the industry, by the government. Of course, industry is trying to make sure that all the oxygen that is available for medical purposes is supplied for that. The government is also trying to make sure that the supply chain becomes more efficient. The usage of oxygen is more efficient. PSA units, which are basically smaller units that you can set up in hospitals, are being set up. So there are multiple actions being taken to address the supply issues in oxygen, the transportation issues in oxygen, while at the same time keeping track of the demand side on oxygen, right? So, again, as CII, we've been doing a lot of work on this. If things continue the way they are, of course, we expect the demand for oxygen to continue growing. But as supply side actions are taken, hopefully, we'll have a better balance over the next few months. So I think we can live with the situation for maybe another month where there's no liquid oxygen being supplied to industry. Beyond that, it will certainly start hurting user industry, not so much the steel industry as a user industry, much more.